Good morning to everybody from all over the world. I welcome you at this very special sixth edition of Conference Fascinations. 6 years ago, we established this event as a space for uh, people who professionally work with experimental film or with moving image that is aimed for gallery presentations. The first edition of Conference Fascinations, though, was only focused on experimental film. We met with many distribution companies of experimental films and representatives of festivals that present this part of cinema. But we found out that it would be very fruitful to broaden the discussion and include also professionals who are from the world of fine arts and from the galleries, because the moving image is it's very often used as an artistic expression, although in these spaces. So from the second edition, we have met, we have been meeting with representatives of distribution companies, of festivals, but also of galleries or other institutions that take care about the moving image that is experimenting with the film language and with the style, but it is aimed either for the black box of cinema theater or for the white cube of galleries. This year, we are again meeting with people representing different institutions, and I'm really very happy that we were able to get together from really all around the world. Although the whole conference Fascinations will be only online this year, the program will be very similar as in the past years. At the beginning, we will see and hear introductions of the presented institutions. And then we will have 3 discussion panels. Each year, we establish 1 or 2 topics that are dominant for our discussions. Nevertheless, it's really important that the discussions are very, very practical, and they work with particular details. So we are not only sharing our opinions or points of view on how to distribute and present this kind of films or moving images, but we are sharing very particular practices. And we are talking about curatorial aspects, but also about the production, technical, legal or economic aspects of this kind of presentation and spreading of experimental films and moving images. The first discussion panel will be at 12 a.m. Today. The second one will be at 2 p.m. Today, and the third one will be at 10 a.m. tomorrow. This year's topics that we are focusing on with our speakers, and the speakers will be introduced by these introductory presentations within this session. These 2 topics are presentation and promotion of audiovisual works in the virtual space, which of course it's a very current question for all of us, although we have stated this topic a long time before the pandemic have started, but it's important that we discuss where we can find this kind of films and this kind of artistic works. And how they can be also promoted in this space. And the second partly related topic is territorial permeability or dominance in the collections, in the exhibitions, in the festival programs. We will be talking about what are the territories that our great speakers are focused on primarily, and how they work with the territories that are more distant to them. I don't mean only geographically, but also territories that they are less familiar with. It's of course it's also connected with the context in which Ji.hlava festival is being organized each year. We are in Central Europe, and we observe that this territory of Central and Eastern Europe and its production of experimental films or moving images for galleries are still a little bit less known for our colleagues from Western Europe or from Americas or from Asian continent. So each year also Ji.hlava Festival is trying to bring more attention to this territory and to discover authors and works, not only from the present times, but also from the history, because also these archival works or works that were made, especially in the second half of 20th century, are also quite less known. But the question of the territory, it's not only about Central and Eastern Europe, it's also about the points of view, how we all look at the regions that we are not so familiar with. For example, how we in Europe, how we are thinking about the works that are made in the Asian continent, in the Asian countries, and how can we get to them, and is it more efficient and better if local curators select these works for, I don't know, festivals or galleries or distribution companies, or should we try to get know the region to more and more details and discover the works and the authors by ourselves. So it's also about this intercultural view on these kind of works. I will say once more that I'm so happy that we could meet in the virtual space from with all of you, the speakers, but also with you attendees and the audience. So welcome. And now we will start with introductory presentations of our dear speakers. The first institution that will be introduced by Lauren Hawes, the executive director from Canada, from Toronto, Canada, is a Canadian filmmakers distribution company.
I love this place, this theater, this community.
I want us to use our imaginations.
What do you mean, imaginations?
I want you to tell me things that you remember.
Have these people ever had an original idea in their entire life? I mean, look at them.
Activism is giving people knowledge and power. That they get a connection to their own history, and that is as important as protesting on the streets.
Hi there. My name is Lauren Howes, and I am the Executive Director at the Canadian Filmmakers Distribution Centre. We are based here in Toronto, Canada. And I want to thank you guys for dropping in. I want to thank everyone at Ji.hlava for inviting us to participate in this sidebar conference and for putting the virtual festival together online. I think as we're all in the phase 2 of COVID, that it's really important that we find ways to connect virtually and otherwise. So this is a really great opportunity, and I want to thank you for inviting us from CFMDC. There is all the information you need to know about CFMDC at www.cfmdc.org. A little bit about CFMDC. We work with the guiding principles that we believe artists should be paid for their work, that art is necessary for driving change and challenging conventions and transforming lives in the personal and political levels. We believe it's necessary to create a space outside of the mainstream that is representative of the multiplicity of voices and perspectives that exist in our society. We do operate in the spirit of artist-run culture, which is based on inclusivity, non-censorship, and we work from a decolonizing perspective here in Canada. We also believe it's our responsibility to steward one of the most important Canadian collections of film. We were established in 1967, and we're a member-driven organization. So we have about 1,250 members, about 4,400 titles in our catalog. Housed within our collection, there is quite a substantial amount of documentary film. We have a huge history of experimental film, animation, a big collection of queer work. We have films that address various topics, mental health, differing abilities, cultural identity, political documentary, and abstract forms as well. Rather than me being a talking head throughout this whole recorded piece, we're going to run some clips. So I want to thank everybody again for being here and to Ji.hlava for inviting me, and hope to see you around the festival. Thanks.
This is my theater. This is where I feel very comfortable. This is where I feel that I can't be myself. That one there, he's been coming to the album since a little bit. He used to be a dentist, but they fired him.
Social media has changed, how women are able to pursue careers in hip hop because they're able to give themselves a platform and a space.
That experience changed my life because I was connected to all kinds of things that I'd never had an experience with before. Just in terms of understanding story and memory and ceremony.
Hari was the first person I knew to use the pronoun they. We were roommates, and I confronted them on their bed. "What's going on?" I said. "You were my last fellow butch in town." I was not supportive.
She's like, "No, I only know my own songs." And I was like, "Oh, you only know your own songs." But meanwhile, it was really sweet that she was just learning and playing her own songs, but I was probably just jealous that she had written songs and had a crush on her, but was like, had no idea that I liked girls. So can't take it much longer, baby, you won't see me through. No.
You could see a great variability of the works that CFMDC represents. And Lauren mentioned that they have 1,250 members, authors of really very, very diverse films or artistic works. And I can tell to you that also several Czech artists are represented by this distribution company. Now we will move to Netherlands in Europe, and we will speak with or we will see the introductory presentation by the head of distribution in the I Film Institute in the department that is called I Experimental.
Good afternoon. My name is Edith van der Heijden. I work at I Film Museum based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. At I am responsible for the I Experimental Festival distribution catalog and for the platform for short film distribution in the Netherlands called the Short Film Pool. Now, in short, a little bit about the I Film Museum. I is the Institute for Dutch Film and Film Culture and was founded in 1946. I is based in 2 locations in Amsterdam, the museum building and the collection center, both of which you see here in the images in the slide. The museum building houses 4 cinemas and an exhibition space. The cinema program varies from recent art house films to retrospectives, theme programs, VR presentations, and classics. The exhibition space hosts about 4 exhibitions each year, and the last exhibition, for instance, was featuring the work of Chantal Akerman. The coming exhibition is called Trembling Landscapes and presents works by different artists from the Middle East region. The I Experimental Catalogue is a catalogue with recent Dutch experimental films and artist moving image. These are selected twice a year by a selection committee of a diverse film professionals, for instance, curators, producers, and programmers. These films are promoted and distributed to international film festivals. And we select about 10 films each year, both by established filmmakers and by young up-and-coming artists or students. The works that are selected are not only distributed and promoted to international film festivals, but they are also presented at I and screened during the Eye on Art program. The Eye on Art program focuses on the intersection between film and the other arts. Every 6 months, it features the new selections in the I Experimental Catalogue. And after their festival life of about 2 years, the films in the I Experimental Catalogue are also added to the I Archive collection. Next to the I Experimental Catalogue, we also distribute programs with newly restored and digitized works from our archive by Dutch artists and residents. These programs are available for screening in both analog and digital form. They have been curated by I and sometimes together with external curators or in collaboration with other archives like Anthology Film Archive, for instance. We now have several programs available with works, as you can see, by Barbara Meter, Henry Plaat, Joost Rekveld, and Marta Colburn. If you want to know more about I Experimental Catalogue or the I Experimental distribution programs, you can check out the links I put in the slide or send me an email at experimental@ifilm.nl. So thank you, and maybe see you later in one of the panels. Bye.
Fantastic. So this was Edith van der Heijden from I Experimental, and we could see and hear quite comprehensive information about how this exceptional institution works. I can now also share you here the web page. as you can see, the main address is ifilm.nl, and so you can browse the catalog there and see everything that Edith was talking about. The third institution and the third continent, we will go to Japan, and Koyo Yamashita, the director of Image Forum, will introduce us this institution, which is really one of the key institutions for experimental film on the Asian continent.
Okay, Image Forum established itself in the current form in February 1977. So this is our building of Image Forum. Its original activity started in 1971 under the name of Underground Film Center to screen and distribute experimental, independent, alternative films and videos. Image Forum owns a screening room with a capacity of 35 seats and produces weekend Cinematheque programs. The program consists mainly of new works of independent film and video, both domestic and international. The works shown here vary from short, feature-length, experimental film and video, documentary to animation. The 1000th program of the Cinematheque, counting from 1971, took place in 27th of January 2018. Image Forum has a film and video collection of about 1,000 titles and circulates them throughout the country to various institutes. Image Forum runs Image Forum Institute of Moving Image and offers one-year course and summer workshops to grow young film and video artists. So Image Forum also organizes an experimental film and video annual festival named Image Forum Festival. The festival, initiated in 1987, will celebrate its 35th edition in 2021. Among several selections, there's East Asian Experimental Competition, highlighting the works from Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So this is the entrance to the Theater Image Forum, which was opened in 2000, where we try to cross over programs between the experimental and the art house film. So it's consisted of 2 screens, one in the basement, one in the ground floor. And Image Forum founded Dagger Press Inc. in 1980, a profitable body for publicizing books and DVDs related to experimental film or independent film. Thank you.
It's really remarkable what is the range of different activities for supporting experimental films that Image Forum has been preparing from the 1970s. I can also show you the web page where we can see a summary of what Koyo Yamashita was talking about. So we can see the theater, school or training activities, Cinematheque, film festival, and also publishing activities. This is really remarkable what Koyo Yamashita and his team are doing for experimental cinema. And as you could see, we now introduced several organizations that were established at the late 60s or in the 1970s, and one of other very important distribution companies of experimental films that was also established in this very fruitful era when the presentation of experimental films was an important discursive question in the cinema, is Lightcon from France. So now we will hear the introductory presentation by Maria Nikiforova, who is manager of the film collection.
Okay, Image Forum established itself
Hello, my name is Maria Ji.hlava, and I'm happy to welcome you to LightCon in Paris.
Besides a really great collection of works, also historical and also contemporary, I can personally recommend you the Documentation Center. You can study at LightCon, you can study the films and also a great amount of books in their library and magazines and other resources if you are professional in this area of experimental film, or if you are a researcher. This is really a great place where to go. And I will also now show you the homepage of LightCon. You can see the address is lightcon.org, and it's also in English. Next, we will go to Poland, and we will speak with Malgorzata Sady, who is a curator, an artist herself, and she represents in Situ Foundation of Contemporary Art, but also festival konteksty. She will tell us more now.
Hello, everybody. My name is Malgorzata Sady. I'm based in Warsaw. I'm a curator, artist, writer, lecturer, and translator. Over the years, I've been associated with a number of institutions, two of which I would like to present to you this time. The first one is In Situ Foundation of Contemporary Art. It is located in Sokołowsko, a village very close to Czech and German border. The major building which you see in the picture is the former tuberculosis sanatorium, the first tuberculosis sanatorium in the world, which the foundation bought with a prospect of rebuilding it as it was a total ruin and turning it into a laboratory of culture. Some of it has already been refurbished, as you can see. Another venue that foundation uses is cinema, and another one is residential villa. The festival, which I have been curated since 2012, is called Context, the International Festival of Ephemeral Art. The foundation also organizes two other festivals, Sanatorium of Sound, which is experimental music festival, and Homage à Ji.hlava, a festival devoted to the oeuvre of Krzysztof Ji.hlava. The foundation also owns the archive of Krzysztof Ji.hlava, donated by his wife. The Festival of Ephemeral Art is about art that happens in real time and leaves no material traces. What is left in our hearts and our minds. And the structure of the festival expresses my curatorial attitude as offering a possibility to see the world from different points of view, outside categories and hierarchies. And this festival provides a platform for presenting art in its various manifestations. So there would be performances, installations, interventions, sound pieces, music, multimedia, and cinematic works. And it focuses on delivering an artistic message to local community through realizing projects in public spaces, which are naturally accessible to the inhabitants of Sokołowska. We also organize workshops for children and adults. And the festival also features documentations of art projects and art places, screenings, and exhibitions. Artists, critics, art theoreticians, and historians are given a platform for discussion. And there is also a space for young artists who submit their independent projects and have a possibility to present them to international audiences. Another idea is to bring the generations together. So we show the works of very established artists as emerging artists. There's around 60 to 100 artists presenting their works of over 5 days. Another idea is to introduce international curators to give other points of view. And if you're interested, please have a look at the website of Context, www.context.com.pl. And the other institutions I would like to tell you about is Polana 44 Institute, which is a free cultural foundation committed to the Polish-German view of culture, art, and society in Europe, focusing on a process that originated from a creative urge. It was brought to life only in June 2020 by German Guido Stemme, who moves between the areas of literature, philosophy, art, design, and technology, and myself. It is to constitute an open inspiration based on freedom and independence, development, and what matters most is quality. It is kindly uncomfortable and disturbing to enable changes and progress. And it is all about beauty and poetry. So welcome for further encounters and see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
This was Malgorzata Sady from Poland, and I can also point out the web page she was talking about. It's the web page of the festival konteksty or Contexts, so you can see it right now. Now we will move to United States of America, and we will hear about one of the greatest gallery institutions in the world, Museum of Modern Arts in Europe. And the introductory presentation is held by Josh Siegel, one of the curators in the film department at MoMA.
Hi, I'm Josh Siegel. I'm a curator of film at the Museum of Modern Art. I'm sitting here in MoMA Sculpture Garden. I think my mask is in reverse, so it looks like I'm working at a MOM, but I'm not. I'm at MoMA. Behind me is Barnett Newman's Broken Obelisk. Way in the background are Matisse's backs. And you may hear the sound of jackhammers because the city is essentially back to work. We're having a great deal of construction as usual in the city, so I apologize for any noise. And I also am very sorry for not being there with you. I have very fond memories of being on a jury at the festival some years ago. In any case, the museum is up and running. You are welcome to visit. I hope you'll join us in New York sometime soon. And and tell your friends that they can come visit the museum when it's virtually empty. It's a rare occasion when there aren't too many tourists to see the art and have some peace and quiet. The theaters, however, our movie theaters, are not open because our esteemed governor of New York has decided that it's okay to have gyms open, but for some reason not our movie theaters. I don't really understand the logic of this. Probably you don't either. But that means that we are assiduously working to get our virtual cinema, our streaming platform, up and running in the next few weeks with a very, very robust program that will include a roundup of some of the best films of the year, including a great many that never got to see theatrical releases, our regular week-long runs of films that we distribute from all over the world, as well as our tentpole exhibitions like New Directors, New Films, the festival we've organized for some 50 years with the Film Society of Lincoln Center, To Save and Project, which is a festival I created about 20 years ago, celebrating restorations from all over the world, both by our FIAF colleagues, as well as independent filmmakers and studios and distributors. And finally, of course, Doc Fortnight, which is the annual roundup of very cutting edge or very interesting, compelling nonfiction cinema, whether hybrids or documentaries that relate most directly to Ji.hlava as a festival. I encourage all of you to learn more about our festival and then to consider submitting your film for consideration. It tends to be international in scope. It goes on for 2 weeks, probably in February this coming year. We're not absolutely certain because of COVID, but we believe the next edition will be in February. So consider sending your films in soon. All my contact information is in the catalog or online. And of course, all of our regular programming can be seen online on MoMA.org. We also have many conversations with filmmakers and artists, both live and recorded, that you can enjoy anywhere. And we have an ongoing series as well called Modern Mondays, in which we invite, ideally in the city, but perhaps online until then, some of the more cutting edge or experimental filmmakers to present their body of work, either over the last few years or brand new work, or even surveys of their work historically. MoMA was the first museum in the world to collect and show films beginning in the 1930s. Our director, founding director, Alfred Barr, considered film to belong alongside paintings and sculptures and photography and design objects and architecture at a time when few people did. Few people thought that film was worthy of collection or exhibition with the so-called fine arts. But we've worked for 90 years to disabuse people of that idea. We have films both high and low. We have a collection that ranges from a recent restoration we did with George Romero of Night of the Living Dead to the largest collection of work by Andy Warhol or D.W. Griffith, Ernie Gare, and many others. So again, I encourage you to consider sending your films for consideration, and I hope you have a wonderful festival. And again, I'm sorry I'm not there with you, but we'll see you soon in New York, we hope. Bye-bye.
Thank you to Josh Siegel, the curator of the film department of Museum of Modern Arts in Europe. It's really remarkable how many activities MoMA is pursuing on the field of cinema. As you could hear, not only screenings, but also the discussions, the restoration work, the organizing the festival, and of course, what is the most important is building the collection of films and of moving image within MoMA collection. That is really fantastic, and thank you for this a detailed look into all of these activities. And now we will hear from from a representative of National Film Archive here in Czech Republic in Prague. It will be Martin Blažíček. He's an experimental filmmaker himself and a teacher, but in the National Film Archive, he's a project manager of a video archive, the project that he will introduce to us.
Greetings to everyone. I would like to present the new project of Národní filmový archiv in Praha that is called Video Archive, or Video Archive in English. And this is a project that will initiate between 2020 and 2023, and it will be focused on a new collection, or a new sub-collection actually of the NFA collection, and this will be collection of video art. We were thinking how the works of video art or moving image or video installations or experimental film, how this collection can be fit into the collections that NFA already has. That is the film collection. And we realized that in order to treat these works, which are kind of specific either by the production process or by its presentation tactics or presentation system, these works would need probably a specific treatment, and they would need a kind of a specific infrastructure to be archived and preserved in the long terms. Galleries and museums, they of course already do collect films of and experimental films and works of video art. However, these works are usually treated as the common objects of arts, such as photographs or paintings, and the structures that museums and galleries in Czech Republic has are usually not equipped to hold these objects in a long time. So we also created, or we're working on the video archive as something that would be kind of a collaborative platform for galleries and museums that includes larger physical parts, but also the image part or the media part. In this position, NFA would be the one who will be interested to archive and keep the media part in the form suitable for the future. We simply named this area as a non-cinematic moving image, or something that is not connected to distribution and the mechanisms of cinematic production. The project has several phases or steps. One would be the acquisition itself. We already have a large number of works that are waiting for acquisition, and this acquisition will start in early 2021. We are also building infrastructures. In this point, it's maybe important to say that the video archive is a digital project. It's a project that will follow the strategy of digitizing of other media, although we really like the large variety of medias from 80s and 70s. We decided we'll build infrastructure, but we will digitize media into. We are also taking very much care about licensing. So when we finish the acquisition, for each work, we are contracting the artist or the license holder for archiving and distribution properties. The other important component of Video Archive will be an online database. This is something that will be a main interface, which will hold the metadata of the works, but it should also hold the video itself. So if everything goes as it's expected in 2023, we will have a database more than 100 video artworks in previews or in shortened preview. And the final and the most important step of the project is also research itself, and which will lead into numerous outputs. One of the major ones will be a book that's going to be published in 2023. The book will be an anthology of text on Czech art of moving image, curated by Martin Mazanec and Silva Poláková. And meanwhile, the research group is also publishing texts, short texts and articles, curating programs and preparing exhibitions. More information about the Video Archive project can be found on the webpage we created and which is being updated with the individual steps of the project, and it's both in Czech and English, so please direct yourself to the Video Archive nfa.cz.
Thank you to Martin Blažíček from National Film Archive in Prague. It's one of the biggest archives in the world, and it's very active in the international network of the film archives, and it has really vast film collection. And I personally consider it very important that NFA started to pay such a detailed attention also to experimental films or the moving image that was made in Czech Republic or the former Czechoslovakia. So you saw the presentation of the video archive, which is this website, video archive -nfa.cz. It's also in English. And if you want to learn more about NFA, then the web page is very simple, nfa.cz. It's also in English. Now we will go back to Northern America, to Toronto in Canada. And Wanda van der Stop, the director of distribution of V-Tape, which is one of those most important distribution companies of experimental films in the world, will tell us more about V-Tape.
Hello, I am Wanda from V-Tape. It's a real pleasure to be invited to the Fascinations conference at the Ji.hlava festival. Thank you so much for the invitation. I just came off actually a panel for a national organization in Canada discussing digital distribution and intellectual property rights and fees for artists. So let me start by saying that V-Tape is a not-for-profit distribution service for independent artists. The rights remain with the artists at all times. V-Tape navigates rights and terms, contracts, and fees on behalf of artists, and we return 70% of all the sales and rentals that we manage to accrue on behalf of artists. I will show you really quickly our website just in advance of being able to meet with everyone one-to-one. I just want to quickly show you, this is our V-Tape also does year-round programming. So this is our, this is the landing page, and through here you can find some of the recent program, Curatorial Incubator version 16 years. That means this program has been operating for the specific programming yearly, mentoring young curators for through a process of writing essays and then presenting programs. This year, obviously, it's being presented online. We are still paying all of the artist fees, etc. If you click on this, then you will find more information in addition to a screen where you can watch the works which are being dropped basically week by week. Then I will just direct you to this for artists, the distribution information page for artists. I would really encourage you to check this page before you sign up to meet with me one-to-one, so you can have a look at these documents right here, and in particular the distribution agreement. The distribution agreement we decided to load online because the relationship and the agreement and the contracts between V-Tape and the artist should be completely transparent. It should be clear. You can see it in advance of contacting us, deciding whether you want to contact us for distribution, and you can get a feel for what our policies are, how we work, and then make your decision. We don't want anything to be hidden. So I will stop sharing the screen now and come back to saying hello to you full screen. And I want to show you, as you can tell, I'm working remotely, and probably many of you are working remotely. The challenges right now in terms of online exhibition are many and great. However, we're navigating them day by day, and we have a technical facility as well, so we're extremely busy and doing really well. I just want to show you where I am. I am in Northern Ontario in Bancroft, There you have it. Or you can see my screen a little bit. That's a little bit sort of Hitchcockian, but you can see, anyway, this is Baptiste Lake in Northern Ontario, where I'm contacting you from. So thank you so much again. And I really look forward to meeting all of you.
Many sincere greetings to Wanda van der Stoep, Director of the Distribution of V-Tape to Toronto, Canada, and also to our other speakers that now just right now have presented their institutions. We will meet the speakers in the particular discussion panels. So thank you, Lauren Hoos from CFMDC from Canada, Edith van der Heide from Experimental Netherlands, Koyo Yamashita from Image Forum, Japan, Maria Nikiforova from Lightcon, France, Malgorzata Sady from Poland, Josh Siegel from Museum of Modern Arts in USA, Martin Blažíček from National Film Archive in Czech Republic, and Wanda van der Stoep from V-Tape in Canada. To conclude this session, I would like to focus your attention also on the film programs that are within the program of Ji.hlava Festival, and they are focused on experimental films, and some of them are also regional. And as one of the topics of this year's conference, Fascinations, is focusing on certain territories, it can be maybe intriguing for you to watch especially some of those programs that introduce territories that are less known to certain audiences. So please don't forget our World Competition of Experimental Documentaries, which is called Fascinations. And then we have a competition of Czech experimental films, which is called Experimental CZ. And then you can see several retrospective sections. For those of you who are already familiar with our festival, you know that each year we have a thematically focused retrospective. This year it is on the topic of garden. So we will see films that are from the early stages of cinema up till today, and we will see how the filmmakers were experimenting with the motif or metaphor or the visual motif of the garden. As the main accompanying program of the conference Fascinations, each year we introduce experimental films that were made in one of the countries or one of the regions of the former so-called Eastern Bloc of Europe. And we introduce films, experimental or underground cinema that were made during the communist totalitarian regimes in these countries. This year, the country in focus is Poland. And then I'd like to point out two programs that were prepared by curators in the National Film Archive. And it is a profile of Czech photographer, artist and filmmaker Jan Jedlička, and then it is a profile of Czech visual artist Lumír Hladík. So enjoy all of these films. Thank you very much for joining us for this introductory session of Conference Fascinations, and I will look forward to meet with you and with our dear speakers at the first discussion panel, which will start at 12 a.m. It means in 1 hour from now today, and we will be discussing especially spreading and distributing and presenting the works within the virtual space. Have a nice day.